Hi everyone, today I want to share my vintage 20mm shootout with you. It's completely unscientific, but hopefully you'll find it useful. And the lens I will be comparing include the Soligor 21mm. It's the cheapest lens in this comparison, technically not 20, but it's close. Then we have the Pentax 20mm 2.8, which is the most expensive lens in this comparison and also the most compact one. Next up we have the Zeiss Jena 28mm 2.8, which is not very cheap lens, but very respected in vintage lens community. Next up we have the MIR-20M, which is a 20mm lens, quite a reasonable price. It's the heaviest and biggest lens in this comparison. And the last lens is CanonFD 20mm f2.8, again quite a reasonably priced lens, so let's see how it stacks up against the others. First I want to check sharpness and distortion with each lens wide open, starting from the cheapest to most expensive, and the first one is Soligor at 3.8. Then we have MIR at 3.5. Canon at 2.8, Zeiss at 2.8, and Pentax at 2.8. It's really hard to judge sharpness though, so let's have a look at 200mm timeline crops. And now a side by side which really shows the difference between these lenses. Next up we have all the lenses at 5.6, and now the performance is definitely much more even across the board. You might also notice that MIR is definitely wider than all the other lenses. Apart from sharpness, it's quite obvious that every lens has different tone and contrast. Some people like it low contrast, others like it high contrast. It's all subjective. And now let's have a look at 200% timeline crops at f5.6. And you can see how different every lens is. There is massive difference in tone, and there is difference in contrast and sharpness too, with Pentax probably being the sharpest and the punchiest, with the MIR being the lowest contrast and maybe even the softest. But keep in mind that contrast affects the perceived sharpness as well. And lastly, I wanted to see the close focusing ability of each lens and the bokeh it produces. The Soligor is the least impressive, but I really like this really bokeh around the edges. Pentax is a little bit better on the close focusing distance. Canon is supposed to be the same, but it's actually a bit closer. Zeiss will get you really close with a buttery smooth bokeh, and MIR will get you even closer. For additional info, high-res stills and my in-depth analysis, visit VintageLensesForVideo.com. Hopefully I'll see you there.